my darlings. Today I decided to do a video outside. I never did this before, so I thought like, okay, let's try. First I want to show you, I just finished up half a beautiful papaya. It's actually organic, which I never ever encountered before. So I was like, okay, organic papaya, let's try this. And it's definitely delicious. And I eat also seeds. So you know, seeds are great for parasites. So I've been inspired not to wear makeup this time in my video, and read the book My Naked Lunchbox by FreeLee. That is fabulous and so freeing. If you do wear makeup, girls, please go after cruelty-free, vegan, and fruitarian-based products. Thank you. First I thought I'm gonna do the dog video, but now I decided, you know what? Let's do a video about fasting, because a lot of my clients actually are asking me about this, and they're wondering about the fasting and you know what kind of fasts we do and so on. Quickly, dry fasting means no drinks, no food, no nothing in your mouth for a while. And we separate them daily intermittent fasting. You can start anytime. You can start with 10 hours, go up to 14 hours. It's basically similar to sleeping, so your kidneys get rest. And also longer dry fasts are inspired by animals, basically, who, when they get ill, they don't drink, they don't eat anything, so their body can focus on their healing and regeneration. So similar we do as well. So 3 days dry fast, supposed to stimulate stem cells to create new white cells and renew immune system, which is incredible. Read about it online. I recommend you do a little research to find out this fabulous new science about it. Dry fasting is fantastic, especially intermittent dry fasting. And I'm not talking about the craziness, right? I don't recommend, I'm all about the balance, and I don't recommend actually extremes if we don't have extreme situation, okay? So what would be extreme situation? If you're extremely ill, if you are really, you know, let it be cancer, MS, like really advanced illnesses that we really have to act fast. Okay, that's when I would definitely recommend more extreme measures, which is more long-term juice fasts and then dry fasts that are prolonged after some time. Intermittent dry fasting, 12 hours per day, it's fantastic because it gives the chance to your body, like your organ, to rest. So because if you wake up in the middle of the night and you go and drink a little bit, you know, drink water, you drink this, that, you know what's going to be happening? Your kidneys, your liver, your body, your digestive system will be working all the time, right? And we don't want that. We want your body to really get rest. That's why dry fasting is really good. And I actually don't recommend really long dry fasts, except if you've been doing fruits for a very long time and working on detoxification a little bit harder, and you know you're relatively in good shape, you're not too skinny, you're not super ill without the energy, then you can do, you know, 1 day dry fast. But I would prepare again my body. I would do a very intense juice fast and fruits before, and then after I would go again and do the juice and you know, like fruits afterwards. So you really replenish all those, you know, cleaned up all these cells that have been gone, right, with dry fasting, that to flush this lymphatic waste out. So that's one thing with dry fasting. Now, I read about, I never tried it 3 days. My longest dry fast was 36 hours, I think, a little bit maybe longer. And it was fine. I drank juice before, but I need to say, like, I was starting to get tired, of course, at the end of it. But I had actually a client who had a brain tumor and did, against my advice, 5 days of dry fast after being on fruit probably like 4 months, you know, and he started, you know, he wanted to push a little bit, and he was dry fasting for 5 days. I was like scared. I was scared, but it ends up being actually really effective. Let me say that this is a young man, 21, from Italy, and he was on fruit for a very long time and he felt good. That's why he actually dared to do this, I suppose, you know, but it really helped him. He helped him and he healed his, you know, he definitely got rid of the brain tumor that way. So I mean, I'm not saying you should do it, right? It's every situation is different. But in this case, you know, like I don't support starvation, I don't support extremes, but sometimes extreme measures are okay, especially if that might save your life. If you have nothing else, you know, if the doctor send you home to die, you have nothing to lose. So water fasting is a problematic because all the water on this planet is pretty much compromised, especially tap water that contains little plastic and metal particles. So with distilled water, it needs to be restructured because it's dead water. I'll talk about it later a little bit more. And then we come to alkaline Kangen water that are, you know, pH 8 to 9, while the regular water is 7. And I don't like that it's man-made, you know, via electrolysis. And it's different, of course, from naturally rich in minerals alkaline water. I believe short-term it helps, long-term can throw GI tract natural pH out of a balance because our stomach should be basically acidic a little bit. I'm not a fan of water fasting, right? Because first of all, it's very hard to find good quality water. For me, 3 days is just about enough if you want to clean up yourself. But when it comes to water fasting, first of all, like distilled water, spring water that it's extremely hard to find clean. Even distilled water, I would put it on the sun in the green bottles to restructure it a little bit, right? And then I would use it for my fasting. And also, I would not go longer than 3 days. I don't recommend water fast if you're really weak, if you're really sick, okay? I would not go for that. In that case, I do with juice fasting because it gives you energy and vitamins and minerals, okay? And but I'd recommend water fasting for somebody who just enjoys it, you know, like, and could see some benefits. One benefits of short water fast would be rejuvenation of our cells, lowering of high blood pressure, for instance, improved insulin and leptin sensitivity, and short-term weight loss. Now, the problem started with a longer water fast when we notice like weaknesses, hypertension, and then you have also, if you have gout, diabetes, eating disorders, be really please careful so don't get yourself in trouble. I do like coconut water fast. That's a little bit different. Of course, organic, fresh, ripe. It has a lot of potassium. If you have lack of potassium, check on that. One thing, a lot of people do this really prolonged water fasts, and I had a friend who did this in 2007. And she's been doing a lot of these long water fasts, and I saw her really starting to have more and more problems with digestive system. Why? I believe that that's because with the water, you don't bring any nutrition into your body. First of all, she lost tons of weight doing that, of course. But I think more problematic was that with water, you flush the good gut bacteria and the bad gut bacteria, okay? And we want good gut bacteria to flourish, to be fed, and to, you know, to basically create more good gut bacteria, right? Water does not enable deep cellular hydration, like for instance fruits do, because in the fruits there's something inside, these enzymes, minerals, all this stuff that really tells our cells, okay, get the water in this cell, get the water in this cell, because we are frugivores, right? So I always recommend do, instead of water fast, fruit juice fast, or even better, do like a monofruit eating. Now let's come to the juice fasting. Fresh, slow-pressed fruit juices, wonderful with detox and body self-healing mechanism without starvation. You can go about your life normally. You have a lot of energy still. We remove even more cellulose, right? For easier digestion, fast absorption, utilization of nutrients. Less is more. Stick to your monofruit juices. They're easier on the body. We do not recommend fruit juices if you have edema, like swelling in somewhere in your body, or diabetes. Then in that case, rather eat wholesome fruits like apples, grapes, pears, so that cellulose blocks a little bit fast spikes in sugar. So juice fasting is my favorite, I would say, but don't remember, right, that blenders and juicers do not grow on the trees. So, you know, for me, juicing is fabulous. We remove the cellulose, away from the fruit. So for instance, your digestive system can have even easier way of accessing nutrition from the fruit, right? So vitamins, minerals, all that stuff. But the problem is, again, you know, like if you're doing, again, extreme juice fasting, I had actually clients coming to me, oh my God, I did this 70 days of crazy, I don't know, orange juice fast or apple juice fast or grape juice fast, right? Which is very popular as well. And, you know, they're basically, their digestive system gets destroyed, or somehow their body cannot, you have to do then like really slow transition to eating solid foods, even fruits and so on. So juice fasting, fantastic. Like I recommend it all the time with the cancer, especially. Like everybody can do 1 week, 2 weeks of juice fasting. And if you don't like that, what you could do, even what I prefer even, that you choose, like, you know, in a week, right? You do cycles or some kind of repetition that, like, for instance, you eat 5 days in a week, and then 2 days you basically have a juice fast. That's one of my favorites. And then if you want to push the detox a little bit more, right? I'm not talking about, like, you know, we're not expecting anybody to be eating fruits and juicing like for the rest of their lives. Of course, that's not the point, right? This is just for detoxing, for healing and so on. And then wholesome plant-based diet will do it with high fruits, even the better, you know? And I did like 1 week, for instance, with grapes and lemons. And we basically stopped on our way from Slovenia to Croatia via Italy. We stopped and we got in Slovenia organic fresh grapes, like 2 boxes with husband, and we also had like fresh lemons, organic, fantastic local farmers, and it kicked our butts. I mean, that was intense, you know? So, you know, especially if you're toxic, probably these toxins will start coming out. So I recommend that if you're coming from SAD diet, right, standard American diet, or if you're coming from a little bit more toxic diet, that you do transition to the juice fast. You know, that you don't go like from SAD diet into the juice fast, because the, you know, toxins, if you're not seriously ill, right? If you're seriously ill, then different, then you jump into the juice fast, you know, that, of course. But if you don't have such a like extreme need to detox your body, then recommend you do transition. So from SAD diet to maybe wholesome plant-based, then all raw, then high fruit raw, and then eventually 100% fruits, and then you do the juice fast, right, in between. So also these cycles will help you that your body doesn't forget how to process the cellulose, so you don't have to have this transition time after you do the long juice fast, right, into the solid foods. We call that also solid food vacation. And I love solid food vacation as long as, like, you know, if some people love it, some people really help them and they can do it for a long time, but not everybody is the same. So for me, these cycles that you, for instance, eat fruit 3 days and then you juice 4 days, or you eat 2 days fruit and then you juice, you know, that will be really, really good, regardless of, you know, regardless of like what you're trying to achieve. You just want to detox. So for serious illnesses, you know, even with I had cases with colon cancer, esophagus cancer, all this, you know, when people cannot eat, juice fasting is fantastic, and this is something that saves their lives. And also it gives them enough nutrition, enough energy, their cells can renew themselves, right? Because as a detox, these toxins, the cellular waste is going out, we immediately put back all the nutrition, and this juice is basically going to be the building block. This, you know, nutrition from the juice is going to be a building block for the healthy cells, okay? So that's why we love juice fasting, right? In extreme situations, you can go really long. My mom was basically, when she was diagnosed with 3rd stage colon on ovarian cancer, she basically started with like 3 months of orange juice fast. And we had another thing that is very important, quality of the fruits. It doesn't matter what fruit. What is important is basically quality of the fruit, right? Organic, fresh from the tree, you know, not a hybrid. This is what we're looking for, right? For the perfect healing. So better quality of the fruit you can have, you can find, faster you're going to heal. That's my observation. I could be wrong, but this is what I'm observing. And I understand this as like better quality building blocks you have for yourselves, you know, faster you're gonna recover, better you're gonna feel, faster. So, let me mention here also green juices. They're fantastic for building up muscle, for slowing down the detox when the healing crisis is too intense. And also, we must mention the celery juice hype that is just crazy, guys. Celery is really high in sodium and potassium, so it could, put some pressure on the kidneys. Also, celery salt. You can use basically celery dried as a salt. But I have to mention that this kind of celery that we're using now, it's not a wild herb, but it's like cultivated vegetable. It's not the same herb that you used to use in past for healing. And also the non-organic is toxic, pulls out the toxins out of the earth, and it has low calories and no sugar content almost. So it's like, you're lacking energy, you're without energy. It's just like basically a liquid with a lot of goodies in there. Also in European Union is being pronounced as allergen because a lot of people are allergic to it, believe it or not, and became popular in 1800s and 1900s in New York City. But it's very difficult to grow and ship, and it's prone to this celery mosaic virus that it's not pleasant. Sadly, there's no one magic herb or chemical or fruit to heal it all. Like, health is a wholesome thing. So check out my cancer video on how to heal your body properly. Diet, of course, is the core. That for me, more natural even is actually monofruit eating. And you cannot even call this almost fast. And for some people it's still extreme, of course, but for me, I love, like, for instance, like in Croatia, when I go in Croatia in the summer in August, I just, eat watermelon for like weeks, or just figs for weeks. On Slovenia, I remember once I was living on peaches like for a couple of weeks, and in New York City, because I didn't have enough money, I lived for 3 months on just bananas. And you would think, like, and they were not organic, they're not high quality like I eat now, for instance. But it's incredible that despite the fact that it was still helping me. I still feel good. I still had a lot of energy. And I was buying it from vendors, like totally the ones that they were almost trashing. Hard times, but I'm very grateful that these times are over, but it really made me like humble and appreciate all I got, and like really way more grateful I would have in life, than before probably. You got to suffer in order to learn, then to appreciate what you have later, I would say. And it made me work really hard, like not being able to survive in New York City, tough stuff, and social system is quite problematic. So you could do this monofruit eating whenever you want. It's perfectly okay. Don't worry, you'll get all the nutrition. A lot of people ask me, if I eat apples for a whole month, am I not going to get like deficient of this, of that? No, because the apples grow from the ground, right? So they get all the nutrition that is in the ground, and you can get in any other food, but even more. Right? Fruits, the most electric energy in them, the most life energy, the most compassionate food, the most sustainable food that we can get on this planet, right? Even more than plant-based only. So, and also the highest digestible, digest the fastest, right? Just to remind you how fruit are magical. And if you want to heal the problem, like, naturally, this would be my first advice to everybody. Go high fruit, go on fruit, and if you have serious problems, let us know. I can help you, drop me a mail and I will help you with advice on how to do this correctly. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully we didn't have too much sounds disturbing us. I have the headphones, but I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day or night. Oh, there you go. This is my dogs barking at the cat, protecting from the vicious cat. But yeah, I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. And hopefully this little video about the fast is going to help you understand why I don't recommend any extremes. But I do use juice fasts, and I do the dry fast and even water fasts. And one more I wanted to say, coconut fast, coconut water fast, which I recommend really a lot, because it's also the coconuts, of course, organic, fresh coconuts, because they're really high on the ground, you know. Yeah, Neo, hey. All right, guys, love you. Mwah. Talk to you soon. Bye.